Anxiety is secretly destroying your life, and you don't even notice it. Here are 10 mind tricks that are controlling your every move, and how to stop them. Have you ever felt like anxiety is silently destroying your life, and you just can't figure out why? Believe me, it's not your fault. Every day, your mind is being influenced by subtle psychological tricks you don't even notice, draining your energy, confidence, and inner peace. Imagine discovering 10 invisible traps that control your thoughts and learning how to neutralize them before they ruin your day. Today, you'll see how these silent strategies affect every decision you make, and most importantly, how to reverse them to finally live a life without stress, guilt, or constant fear. If you think this is just theory, think again. Each trick we reveal is used in real life, every day, by people who don't even realize they're stuck in this cycle. By the end of this video, you'll have practical tools to take control and transform your mental routine. Curiously, the first trap that destroys your peace is closer than you think. Topic 1. The comparison trap. Sometimes, a simple scroll through social media can spiral your thoughts out of control. It feels like everyone else is moving forward while you're stuck. Our brains are wired to compare, which can unknowingly fuel anxiety. Recognizing this pattern is half the battle. Small mindful pauses to reflect on your own accomplishments can counter this invisible pressure. It's not just about work or status. Comparing appearances, family, vacations, or even someone's perfect breakfast creates an impossible standard. The key is redirecting your attention. A practical exercise. At the end of the day, list 3 things you did well, no matter how small. Maybe you finished a task or sent a kind message to someone. This builds a real sense of progress that social media hides. Finally, the trap isn't only what you see online, but how your mind processes it. Each photo or post is just a fragment of someone else's life, often curated. By realizing this, you can start comparing only with yourself. Small daily adjustments, like reducing screen time or using apps that limit distractions, make a huge difference. And this awareness naturally leads us to the next mental trick that fuels anxiety. Topic 2. Overthinking loops. Ever feel like your mind keeps spinning the same thought over and over, like a scratched record? That's the overthinking loop, turning tiny worries into invisible mountains of anxiety. The brain tries to predict problems, but often overreacts. Recognizing when you're stuck in this cycle is the first step to regaining control. Simple techniques, like deep breathing for a few minutes, can interrupt the loop. Another practical method is writing everything down. For instance, jotting, "What if I can't finish this task?" helps you analyze it rationally and disarm the fear before it dominates your day. Doing this daily slows your thoughts and prevents small issues from becoming overwhelming. Remember, overthinking isn't a weakness. It's the brain seeking security. Understanding this changes how you respond. Creating brief moments of conscious pause, like a short walk outdoors, can break these cycles before they paralyze you. Curiously, this desire to control what happens next leads straight to the next mental trick. Topic 3. The illusion of control. Many people believe they must control every detail of their lives to avoid unpleasant surprises. Planning is natural, but excessive control quietly feeds anxiety. When any unexpected change triggers panic, it's time to rethink. Focus only on what you can influence and let the rest flow. Small daily adjustments already relieve this invisible pressure. A simple example, someone meticulously plans their day, but a delayed train sparks immediate frustration. The lesson is clear. Anxiety grows when we cling to the impossible, controlling everything. A practical exercise is dividing tasks into can control and cannot control. This creates clarity, reduces tension, and prioritizes mental energy. Interestingly, accepting uncertainty opens space for lighter, more creative decisions. This skill also helps prevent another anxiety trigger, catastrophic thinking. That's what we'll explore next. Topic 4. Catastrophizing. The mind has a remarkable ability to turn small problems into huge disasters. A tiny work mistake or daily inconvenience becomes a mental earthquake, triggering anxiety. This mechanism is natural, but habitual catastrophizing can hijack your decisions and thoughts. Step 1. Notice when you're exaggerating the future. Taking a deep breath and observing the situation creates immediate relief. A practical exercise is writing down the real problem next to the worst-case scenario. Often, reality isn't as scary as imagined. This helps the mind separate facts from assumptions, reducing the impact of catastrophizing. Daily wins, like handling a real challenge without panic, reinforce this skill. Curiously, catastrophizing often links to feeling guilty for everything that happens. That's the next mental trap we'll uncover. Topic 5. The guilt manipulator. Guilt is one of the sneakiest mind traps. It quietly pushes you to say yes when you want to say no. Take responsibilities that aren't yours and overload your day. This invisible weight fuels anxiety without you realizing it. Recognizing when guilt dictates your choices is the first step to regaining control. Simply asking, "Do I really need to do this now?" sets boundaries and reduces mental pressure. A practical tactic is learning to say no politely but firmly. For example, if a friend asks for help when you're exhausted, explain you can't right now but offer another time. This protects your energy and builds self-respect. Over time, you'll see that putting yourself first isn't selfish. It's essential for mental survival. Interestingly, saying no prepares you for another mental trap, analysis paralysis, which we'll discuss next. Analysis paralysis. Have you ever spent hours trying to make a simple decision, feeling completely frozen? That's analysis paralysis, examining every detail until action feels impossible. The brain believes more information leads to perfect choices, but it only increases anxiety. Recognizing this pattern is the first step to breaking the cycle. A practical tip: set a time limit for decisions and trust your intuition. The 80-20 rule works wonders. Act based on 80% of the available information without waiting for perfection. For instance, when choosing a course or purchase, give yourself a strict decision window. This trains the mind to prioritize action over worry. Small victories like these build confidence and reduce fear of mistakes. Curiously, analysis paralysis is often reinforced by the environment. Constant notifications, messages, and endless stimuli. This leads us to the next anxiety trigger. Topic 7. The noise trap. Even the simple ping of a phone can spike anxiety. Excessive stimuli, notifications, and news create invisible mental noise, making focus and relaxation nearly impossible. Every distraction signals urgency, even when there's no real danger. Recognizing this helps regain control. Short breaks without devices already relieve tension. A practical tip: schedule tech-free blocks of time. For example, 30 minutes in the morning and evening for walking, observing your surroundings, or meditating. This strengthens concentration and teaches the mind to filter unnecessary stimuli, focusing on what truly matters. Reducing noise reveals another hidden trigger: focusing only on negative past experiences. This brings us to the next trap. Topic 8. Negative memory bias. The mind naturally remembers mistakes more than successes. This negative memory bias makes unpleasant events replay repeatedly while victories fade. It's an alert system gone overboard, feeding anxiety and lowering self-esteem. Recognizing it is the first step towards shifting focus. A simple daily journal of small wins helps train the brain to notice positives. A practical exercise: each night, write 3 things that went well, no matter how minor. Completing a task or helping someone counts. This creates a mental balance, reinforcing confidence and changing reactions to challenges over time. Interestingly, focusing on negatives links to another anxiety trigger: the constant search for external approval. Next, we'll explore this pattern. Topic 9. Seeking external validation. Often, anxiety arises from waiting for approval or recognition from others. This dependence creates silent tension, where every criticism or lack of praise feels like a personal failure. The brain craves feedback, but when it defines your self-worth, anxiety thrives. Recognizing this allows you to build internal confidence without relying on others' opinions. A practical tip: daily self-affirmations. For example, say, "I am enough, my choices matter, my effort counts." Small actions reinforce self-esteem and reduce dependence on external approval. Reducing exposure to critical or comparative environments, including social media, also helps. Interestingly, this need for approval is tied to clinging to anxious routines, seeking safety in familiar patterns. That brings us to the final trap. Topic 10. The familiarity trap. An anxious mind loves familiarity, even if it causes suffering or stagnation. Staying in routines or avoiding challenges feels safe, but fuels the anxiety cycle. Recognizing this behavior is crucial for freedom. Small steps outside your comfort zone lead to significant mental shifts. A practical method: start with micro-challenges. Speak to someone new, try a different activity, or take a new route. Each action reinforces that you can handle the unknown and reduces fear. Over time, the mind learns that leaving the comfort zone is not dangerous but liberating. Interestingly, once you overcome the familiarity trap, all the other mental tricks lose their power. Awareness of these 10 patterns opens the door to a lighter, more controlled life, ready for practical application. Conclusion: now that you know the 10 mental tricks fueling your anxiety, it's time to act. Watching isn't enough. Change happens when you apply these strategies daily. Identify one trap in your routine today and try one practical solution. Small steps make a huge difference in mental peace. Think: how often have you let anxiety control important decisions, waste energy on repetitive thoughts, or cling to guilt and comparison? Using these tools, you reclaim control and build a lighter, more conscious, empowered routine. And now I want to know from you: which of these mental traps do you recognize in your own life? Share in the comments. Talking about it is the first step to breaking free. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to keep learning how to live without stress and anxiety every single day.